Planet Armageddon. An Imperial linchpin plagued by invasion and constant bloody warfare. Now the Blood God's followers swarm across the planet's ravaged surface. On the brink of annihilation, the world's defenders issue a desperate plea for aid. Will anyone answer their call? Adeptus Astartes must halt the demonic tide.
What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. So yes, as what you can see here, we have a brand spanking new reveal, and that is none other than the immaculate, beautiful sculpts of the Space Wolves. Man, like, the A-team is definitely showing off their work here for GW. These sculpts are 10 out of 10. They're the best I've seen in a long time when it comes to marine sculpts. The minis are dynamic. Like, oh, the details, everything about this is perfect. Why couldn't they do this for the Blood Angels? But anyway, yeah, GW hit it out of the park with this one. The Space Wolves definitely got some love coming their way with a brand new codex, new sculpts, a new box set. They have a lot going for them right now. So with that being said, let's ride the hype of the Wolves and let's go into this excerpt from the Storm of Damocles that pits a Space Wolf veteran hunting a Tau Ethereal. I know all you guys love when the Tau get their asses handed to them, and what better way to do it than with a badass Viking Space Marine of the Space Wolves. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this 40K lore. The lone wolf was free among the enemy. With two great sweeps of his blade, Jotun cut through a crowd of fire warriors who blocked his way. A smaller battlesuit leapt out into the air above him, but he shrugged off its burst cannon shots. Despite the bulk of his Terminator armor, the Space Wolf moved with terrible speed. As the battlesuit landed in front of the sub-level doors, Jotun lowered his shoulder and drove it into the Tau's waist. There was a crunch of struts as he crumpled in two. Then, with a casual swing of his Guardian Spear, he cut the battlesuit and its pilot in half. Jotun knew the way of the Xeno. He was a whirlwind of death as he drove the Tau back before him. He would not, he could not, be slowed. He feared nothing but failure, and as he battled into the sub-levels of the desperate fire warriors that ran onto his blade in an effort to slow him down, he knew that death was around him. "There's an Ethereal here," Jotun voxed. It was simple. He could tell from the way that the enemy were dying. This is why they had been slowed down so much. Nergui's intelligence had failed to locate this variable. It made the success of the mission ever more precarious. When defending an Ethereal, fire warriors fought with a stubbornness that was impressive to any. Jotun glared at the bulkhead before him. He slapped a pair of meltabombs to its seal. The blast then ripped a hole large enough for him to get his hands through, and he tore the edges of the doors open and pushed himself inside. 5 Crisis battlesuits stood in defiant guard of their Ethereal leader. The Space Wolf smirked and charged. This was the first time he'd seen one of this type of battlesuit in the flesh. The lone wolf sensed that he was facing the commander of the foe and looked forward with grim relish to the moment he could kill the enemy leader in battle. The Guardian Spear fired individually inscribed bolter shells that Jotun himself had crafted. They punched through the armor of the Crisis suits and exploded inside, ripping their interiors apart with a hail of steel fragments. 2 of the battlesuits fell before he even reached them. 2 more were cut down by his ancient blade. The last one tried to fire a fusion blast at him from point-blank range, but he twisted out of the path of the shot and rammed the Guardian spear through the chest, killing the pilot within. The XV-9 stepped forwards. It was armed with long shield and double-barreled plasma rifles. Jotun sidestepped the plasma shots as he charged. He drove the battlesuit into the wall with such force he felt the armored battlesuit crack. He drove again and again, then let the ruined suit slide to the floor. A single Hellfire bolt shell killed the pilot inside. Jotun strode to the sealed blast doors. They were marked with a vast Kaushan symbol. He hammered on it with his armored fist. "Open in the name of the Emperor of Mankind," he roared, and he clamped another melted charge to it. The door did not open. It exploded. Jotun kicked the remains away, and he stooped to enter. Inside was a small meditation chamber, hung with scrolls of Tau script. The Space Marine growled as he smelt his foe. The Ethereal had been knocked back into the corner of the room by the force of the blast. He paced towards it, fangs exposed. The Ethereal shrank back. It was always thus. The Xenos quivered before the judgment of mankind. The Ethereal had the temerity to speak. Space Wolf did not know the words, but he did not care. Learning the speech of the enemy only opened themselves to their lies. All within the Death Watch knew that in understanding this madness. As the Space Wolf stood over him, the Ethereal had some symbol of office towards Jotun, as if warding the Space Marine off. He ripped it from his hands and flung it against the wall. The Ethereal still speaking. Jotun answered with a roar. He let the twin barrels of his Guardian spear speak for him. And that is this awesome excerpt from the lore of the Storm of Damocles. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to the Space Wolves, they're either the cringiest Space Marine chapter, or they can be one of the most badass. The Viking aesthetic, the ice, the wolf pelts, that is all amazing. But when it comes to like their naming of things, it just gets to be a little too much. Wolf this, wolf that. It's just very childish when you look at it in that way. But regardless of whether you think they are the cringiest Space Marine chapters out there, I gotta give it to them. Like, the sculpts that they have here are beautiful. Let me know your thoughts on these sculpts. Let me know if you think this is a Howling to the Moon, bringing their Primarch back in 11th edition, which would be really cool. It seems that we're getting a Primarch in addition, roughly, so maybe we get to see the Wolf King himself, Leman Rucks, make his debut sooner than later, but that's all in the future. For now, let's go ahead and just appreciate the awesome sculpts and hope that GW has that same type of not just quality, but also quantity when it comes to any other Space Marine faction getting a facelift. I, for one, am looking forward to this, especially when it comes to the Grey Knights. But that's all I got for today, guys. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go to the comments section and let me know what other types of videos, lore, and topics you guys want to see. And as always, it's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.